Valley. This is Maria's Kitchen and welcome. I'm here today with a chef, Joyce Doughty, and she's local, at least part-time, and in Ketchum, and she wrote this beautiful book called The Chef Within. We'll talk about it a little bit later.
Okay.
And Joyce, could you please tell us and our viewers, what are we making today?
Well, it's summer, and we all know how hot it is.
Yes.
Salads are the perfect thing to eat in summer, right?
Indeed.
And I thought we would start, well, and there is a really awesome salad chapter, pretty extensive.
Yes, we talked about that, and I will show our viewers, and then we'll talk about where they can find it, and etc.,
Yeah.
etc. But it's a cool book. I love the picture. Recipe, very easy. We'll
Yes.
talk about that.
Yes.
I think everybody should have that one.
So there is a recipe in there for what I call the clear coleslaw base. And I love to make coleslaw because I always have cabbage on hand, and I love cabbage. So the dressing is like super, super easy.
Okay.
We're gonna put that together in less than 60 seconds practically, and see where this goes. Don't you like recipes like that?
Yes, I do.
Me too. Me
yes,
too.
I do.
So what it starts with is 3 tablespoons of sugar.
Okay.
All right. So we'll just measure that. Mm-hmm. And then it calls for 3 tablespoons of vinegar, and we're going to use the plain, not the seasoned rice vinegar. So we're going to do equal parts of the vinegar, which will be 3 of these, right?
Now let me ask you, Joyce, can you use just white vinegar?
Absolutely, yes. If you have that, I am all about using what's in the cupboard. Don't run to the store to buy rice vinegars. Absolutely.
Welcome to my world. I'm the same way.
And then it calls for 2 tablespoons of oil.
Okay.
Now, it calls for vegetable oil.
All right.
But I love to do a variation, an Asian variation.
Okay.
So instead of just doing 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil, we're going to do 1 tablespoon of the vegetable oil. And 1 tablespoon of the sesame to give it that sort of Asian, whoops, drip, drip, drip.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Little Asian flair.
Yes. So there's that. And then the last 2 ingredients are salt and pepper.
Okay.
So we'll do a teaspoon of salt.
Okay.
Oh, I love your salt, Marie. It's beautiful.
Let's go, sure.
Woohoo. And a ½ teaspoon of pepper. So
nice.
That is our dressing. Can you believe how easy? All right, how long did that take, huh? Oh.
No, I like it.
So, and it doesn't emulsify, so, you know, we don't expect it to. But let's just set that aside for just a moment, okay? And here's the cabbage. Now, I cut this ahead of time.
Yes, and it's beautiful cabbage. My gosh.
It helps to have a sharp knife.
Yeah.
But
yes.
But you could, you know, you can coarse chop it. It doesn't matter exactly how you cut your cabbage. But once again, so however you want to handle that.
Yeah, everybody has their own style, right?
Exactly.
Yes,
so you keep with that. And since it is Asian, I love to do green onions. And I like to cut my onions. I don't know if you can see.
That is so beautiful. This is chef cutting because I don't cut my green onions. Yeah.
But all you do is you just cut it on a wide bias.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm just going to.
I can do it. I don't think about it because my brain is not like a chef brain.
But you know, sometimes we do things out of habit, right?
That's true.
It's like autopilot. And so it's nice to always pause for a minute and just think, oh, how could I do that different? Or,
look how beautiful it is.
We're just going to add those.
And we're just going to add that in the coleslaw.
Yes. And once again, because it's Asian, I slice some red peppers. I love the color.
Oh, yes.
So you could do that. If you wanted to grate some carrots in there, that would be awesome too. Coleslaw can be anything you have on hand and anything you feel like adding. So the last thing we're going to do, because it is Asian, we're going to add a little cilantro. And I was going to show how I use cilantro. I'm rinsing it here in the sink. You probably can't see me, but I have the whole bunch, and I'm just shaking it, getting as much water off as I can.
Yes.
And then I'm just going to cut off a little section here, maybe that. All right, and we'll set the rest aside.
Oh, it smells so good.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
So now let me ask you, because I know a bunch of my friends doesn't like cilantro because of that smell and the taste.
Yeah.
But we can use parsley, right?
You could use parsley. You can leave it out.
Oh, you can
really,
rub it out.
really doesn't
But I
matter.
will use a little bit of parsley
And you
just
know,
for the color.
if you weren't doing Asian, or maybe even if you were doing Asian, you could even use basil, you know,
Yeah.
or Thai basil or something like that. So
Good idea.
I think that is probably about right for our. So I'll just.
And the green's gonna look
And you
so
notice I didn't
pretty.
pick out the stems or anything before I cut. I
Right.
just those stems are so tender. I think it's perfectly fine to just use it all. Otherwise, it's too laborious to pick off every leaf. Ooh, I could never have the patience to do that. So, all right.
And then maybe another whisk.
Yeah, let me stir these up just a tiny bit. Whoa. Do you want to go ahead and put the dressing?
If you want to.
Yeah,
I can
let's do.
that. Do you want me to put the whole thing and then you?
Yes, go ahead and do it all. And you know, if you had a bigger head of cabbage, this is really enough dressing for a small head of cabbage.
Then I think this is for what?
You know?
Maybe 4 people as an appetizer.
Oh,
3.
Yes, at
Oh, it
least.
smells so good. I think the sesame oil is.
It makes it, doesn't it? I know.
It does.
But you could also so easily double that recipe.
Yeah, and
for,
then we'll show where to find in your book because that recipe is in your book.
It is.
Yes.
Absolutely. So, okay, I think that's nicely tossed. And because it's aged, ooh, sorry, that's kind of loud. I'm going to just sprinkle some sesame seeds
Sesame
just because I love that. You could
And
do
that's the white one because we have black sesame.
That's true. And you could do black too. That's a great idea. The
you
contrast
can
of
mix.
color would be
Yeah.
very pretty.
Yeah.
Sliced toasted almonds would be beautiful
Oh, yes.
for a garnish too. Or
Yes.
slivered. I mean, this is all about you just kind of doing what you enjoy doing, right?
I agree.
So let's
100%.
let's
and
let
then
that sit for a
now,
minute.
you know what, Joyce? We
What?
are gonna go and do my favorite part of the show. It's always the tasting.
Oh, yes.
So we'll be right back with a tasting of coleslaw.
Okay.
Better food, better price, better service. Atkinson's Market, supporting local farmers since 1956.
Taking care of life's business doesn't always happen at the most convenient times. So we make it easy for you to access and manage your banking wherever, whenever. This is Community Banking, D.L. Evans Bank.
As an independent insurance agency, we represent you to the insurance company, not the insurance company to you. This allows Wood River Insurance to be as competitive as possible. So call us today at 208-788-1100 and let Wood River Insurance represent you.
Welcome back, and here we are, Joyce, my favorite part of the show. Can you pour some of your beautiful coleslaw in the plate?
Absolutely. And you know, one thing, Marie, if you've had a coleslaw that's been sitting for any length of time, you just want to give it a final toss, right?
Okay.
Before you
Yes.
take it to the table. So I will do that with this
Okay.
and give
And
you.
serve. Yes.
I'll try to keep portions dainty, okay? So, and ooh, since you have gone to so much trouble to make this look beautiful, I think I have to add some sesame seeds
Yes, indeed.
to the top of that. But
And
once again,
can I add this too?
lovely.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, I love it. This is beautiful.
Okay. Thank you. Gosh.
All right.
Here we go.
I think we're gonna taste this, Joyce.
Okay.
But I want to hear a little bit about, you know, for me, my viewers know by now that cooking is love. But you went to school for that.
Uh-huh.
And we mentioned cordon bleu.
Yes.
Where was it? And how did you come up wanting to do that?
Well, you know, the long story is I'd never walked into a kitchen until I was married. And when we were married, we were in school penniless. Everybody can relate to that.
Yes.
And so I made everything from scratch.
Wow.
Everything, bread, pasta. I didn't buy anything ready-made. So I learned to cook, and I loved
you
it.
loved it?
When my kids would go to school, I'd spend all day cooking like a 4-course meal for them for dinner that night. Is that crazy?
Yeah.
I was a woman obsessed. But my husband, he recognized my interest. And he says, you know, you're so passionate about this. Let's get you to cooking school.
Oh, wow.
So he sacrificed a 4-month summer. He took our 2 sons and went fishing in eastern Idaho. And I went to Ottawa, where Cordon Bleu had a program there.
Okay, yes.
And I did the program there
Oh, wow.
came back hooked.
With your diploma.
And with a diploma, yes.
Well, let's taste
Okay.
one of your recipe. It looks fantastic.
It's very fresh and
I
summery.
think the cutting makes also a big difference in the plate, I think. Wow. I think that sesame oil.
It makes it, doesn't it?
It
Every
does.
time I serve this, take it to a potluck or wherever, I always get recipe requests.
Oh boy,
And
it's really good.
it's so flattering because it's so easy and really so delicious. So.
Oh, it is delicious.
So.
In my case, because I love vinegar, I will go and put some more vinegar. Because I just love vinegar.
Do it.
Oh, I
Yeah.
will. It's
Yeah.
delicious. And again, we can find this recipe in your book. And I wanted to show those two little girls.
Those are my 2 youngest granddaughters.
Thank you.
And what's funny is that May is really a foodie. She spends a lot of time in the kitchen.
Look at
she
her
is-
eyes.
I know.
It says a lot, right?
She gets excited about
so
the
cute.
kitchen.
Well, thank you so much, Joyce, for joining in my kitchen, joining me in my kitchen, I'm sorry. And cooking is love for me. My
too.
viewers know that. I know, I can tell. We share a lot of in common. And, oops, sorry. And please sit down with friends and family and share a meal together. Until next time, au revoir.
Au revoir.